MLS is officially back in 2025. We had an incredible weekend for opening week, 15 games, goals galore, several great matchups, very entertaining. And it just made me realize how happy and how much I missed MLS. And I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend as much as I did and realized how much you missed watching the league. And also, we had an MLS record. 46 goals were scored this weekend. The previous record was 41 set in 2019. Very, very entertaining weekend with several great matchups. But before we break down these matchups, make sure you like this video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, our new goal is to hit 7,000 subscribers by April. And I know we can do it with your help because we have hit every other goal we've set. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Okay, starting off with the first matchup, we have San Diego FC and the LA Galaxy. Now, this was San Diego FC's first game in Major League Soccer, high expectations, very wealthy ownership group, and then they were facing the MLS reigning champions, LA Galaxy. Now, the LA Galaxy were missing several key pieces and players that were on that championship team that are no longer with them, including Brugman. Ricky Puig is injured. Dejan Joveljic, who went to Sporting Kansas City. But I figured that they would still be able to compete because they have a very good team. Also, have to mention that Joseph Paintsel did not play due to injury. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. But this team looked very flat, very flat. And the fact is they were playing an expansion team, and you would think that the reigning champs would have an advantage. But I tell you what, San Diego FC looked prepared to play. I have to give Mikey Veras his props. Luca De La Torre was the man of the match up until this other player, but he was consistent the whole entire game. He was very, very good for San Diego FC. And there were a lot of people that were mad that he came to MLS this early and were disappointed he left Europe, wanted him to stay over there, but he was brilliant today. And the man of the match was Anders Dreyer. Guy had a brace, scored the first goal in San Diego FC history, was incredible. That second goal he scored, the build-up play, the pass to Angel, and then the finish was incredible. This guy looks like an absolute steal, and he only costs like 5.5 million euros. Second place finisher in the Golden Boot race last year in the Belgian League. Very, very solid game. Chucky Lozano was a little disappointing, honestly. He did have an assist the first goal with Dryers, but it was a bad giveaway by the Galaxy. But I was very disappointed with him in his debut with San Diego FC. Now, the Galaxy, it's not time to hit the panic button yet. Several players are out. Gabriel Peck wasn't as good as you would like. Honestly, took him up until the 80th minute to really get things going and creating some chances. But they looked very flat today. And we will see how it transpires. They have some players out. Ricky Puig probably won't be back until the summer, but I'm not worried yet. The first week is nothing to be overanalyzed. There's still 33 games left. We will see what happens, but not an ideal start for the Galaxy. We will see how they rebound in week 2. Now, moving on to the second matchup, we have Inter Miami versus New York City FC. Now, Inter Miami didn't start off very well, and it didn't help when Toto Alvarez had a red card in the 21st minute. Now, Toto Alvarez is a player that I thought was going to be potentially Defender of the Year, going to take a huge step because he will be turning 21 this year. They're going to really need him if they want to win an MLS Cup. He gets a red card in the 21st minute. They're playing with 10 men the rest of the game. They're down 1-0. And also Illich, when he scored his goal, he did the Ronaldo celebration, which was ultra disrespectful to Inter Miami and Messi, which you love. If you're a fan of the league, you love the rivalry, you love the spicy celebrations that could get other fan bases upset because you want to build these rivalries organically. You want there to be some tension and some dismay with other fan bases. So I love that. I do love that as a person outside who just covers the league. You love to see the celebration and kind of rubbing it in. But Miami really did struggle in this match, and you saw some of the deficiencies. Now, I can't really give a full analysis of like what Miami's going to be in 2025 because they look good in their Champions League match against Sporting Kansas City. This game, they're playing with 10 men the whole match. So they were up 1-0 over New York City FC thanks to Toto Alvarez before he got the red card. Then Ilinic scored the goal, and they were kind of struggling the rest of the match. Alonso Martinez scores in the 55th minute, poor defending by Inter Miami, and it looked very bleak. It looked like Inter Miami were going to lose their season opener, and it was a bad start for Javier Mascherano and the Supporter Shield winner of the 2024 MLS season. But in the 90th minute, in added time, Miami was able to tie it up thanks to a beautiful pass by Messi to Lasco Segovia with a beautiful chip to tie the game. Now, there's some players and some pieces that will need to be integrated into the starting 11. They're playing in the 4-4-2. We'll see if they can get the Baltasar Rodriguez signing over the finish line, which will help Miami significantly. And we will see how that can help with their creativity, help a little bit, maybe with some more goal scoring opportunities. But like I said, I can't judge Miami until I see a game where they have their full starting 11. Any team's going to struggle when they're down to 10 men, especially in the 21st minute. They had to play almost 80 minutes without a full starting 11. Who wouldn't struggle that way? So, and New York City FC did look a lot better under Pascal Jensen. You can see that they were able to play a big game on the road. Miami's not an easy place to win, and they looked very competitive. We will see what happens. And keep in mind, this is the day they announced they're selling Santiago Rodriguez to Botafogo. So they lost their best player, and they go to Miami, and they tie the game, and they get a point on the road. That's a great win for New York City FC, or that's a great draw for New York City FC. I would consider a win because it's a tough place to play at. So New York City FC fans should be thrilled with what they saw. Should be a better season than what they had last year. Miami fans, to be determined. We will see. Now, moving on to the next match, we had Atlanta United and Montreal. Now, Montreal is not a very big spending team, as you may know, and they don't put a lot of resources. Joey Saputo, as most fans would like. And then you have Atlanta United, where Arthur Blank is willing to spend what it takes to win. Emmanuel Latte-Lot cost $22 million. They got Miguel Miron back for $11 million. They've got Miranchuk back in the summer of last year. So this is a very high spending team. Some people think might be the best attack in the league. Well, Latte-Lot has a huge target on his back because he is the MLS transfer record for incoming transfer, right? And so he's going to have to produce out of the gate. Well, he looked good. Okay. Now, you guys know I've been a critic of him, and I'm going to take it. It's week one. We'll see how he progresses and what he does the rest of the season. But he had a brace in his first game. What more could you really want from him? I thought he looked very fast. He looked fluid. He, for someone, I think he's only like 5'9" or 5'10", he was very dangerous in the aerial attack. His first goal was off a corner. It was a header. He looked good. Couldn't ask for a better debut from Emmanuel Latte-Lot. Thought Miguel Miron looked pretty good. Montreal actually looked really good. Like I said, they don't spend a lot of money. They're a bargain hunting team, maybe even below that, but they were competitive against Atlanta. And this was at Atlanta, a fortress, which they announced there were 65,000 fans at this match on Saturday. But they were able to compete. Prince Owusu looked really good, and they were going blow for blow with Atlanta United. So I think that this was actually a very impressive performance by Montreal as well, because I don't really expect Montreal to do that much in 2025. So Atlanta United gets the 3 points. They score 3 goals. They look pretty solid. We will see how they progress going through the rest of the season and what Emmanuel Latte-Lot does going forward. But you have to be, both fan bases should be excited with what they saw because it was an impressive performance on both sides. So that was Atlanta United is showing what they can do early on before they really have this chemistry, and they're going to be a threat in MLS. Now, moving on to some other scores around the league. LAFC beat Minnesota United 1-0 after Jeremy Abobase scores late in the game. Absolutely beautiful goal. Could be goal of the week. And they beat Minnesota United. After it looked like it was going to be a 0-0 draw, they're able to win. The Columbus Crew absolutely smoke the Chicago Fire, which is crazy because Brian Gutierrez looked really good early on. And it looked like Chicago was playing with some momentum. Jonathan Bomba was looking really good. And they ended up losing 4-2 to the Columbus Crew. And I thought the Crew were going to be in trouble, losing Cucho Hernandez, losing Christian Ramirez. I thought they were going to be in trouble, but they weren't. They didn't skip a beat. Don't doubt Wilfred Nazi. The Union beat Orlando City 4-2 in Bradley Cardinell's debut with the Philadelphia Union. They looked really good. DC United and Toronto. This is two teams that I expect to be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference table. They draw 2-2. Cincinnati beat the New York Red Bulls 1-0, which was a tough, fought game. Cincinnati coming off of the CONCACAF Champions Cup game where they won 4-1. Evander looked a little tired down the stretch. Kevin Danke as well, but Kevin Danke did get on the scoreboard and score his first goal for Cincinnati in his career in the MLS regular season. They looked pretty good against the MLS Cup runner-up New York Red Bulls. Austin FC beat Sporting Kansas City 1-0. Neither one of the new DPs scored. Brandon Vasquez obviously didn't score, and Uzzini did not score. And then we move on to Nashville SC in New England. God help your soul if you watch this game. Ended 0-0. Not a very two teams I don't have a lot of hopes for in 2025. FC Dallas come back to beat the Houston Dynamo. They were down 1-0, came back and won 2-1 after a goal by Peter Musa and Julio around the goalkeeper, which was a very, very good goal by Julio going around the keeper. They are able to come back. And remember, guys, I got them finishing second place in the Western Conference. That is looking good so far. One weekend, though, right? St. Louis City SC in Colorado ended a 0-0 draw. San Jose beat RSL 4-0. Bruce Arena cooking, GOAT status. Chicho Rongo didn't even score, but the team played very, very attractive. Good chemistry between the players. Christian Espinoza had 3 assists in this game. Don't doubt Bruce Arena. He will have San Jose in the playoffs in 2025 for the Earthquakes. The GOAT does GOAT things. Don't doubt that man. And then Seattle and Charlotte in a 2-2 draw. Now, Charlotte and Seattle, very similar teams, very defensive teams. Charlotte gave up the least amount of goals in the East in 24, and then Seattle gave up the least amount of goals in the West in 2024. Jordan Morris is the best player in MLS history in the first 5 weeks. And then he starts to taper off and he starts to really, really slow down. But he is really good in the beginning of the season. But Charlotte was able to find a way to get a draw on the road, which is impressive because Lumen Field is not a very easy place to play on the road. And they were able to find a draw 2-2. And we'll see what happens. These teams are very, very similar in their respective conferences. And then Portland absolutely does Portland things. Gets a red card early, got absolutely smoked, lost 4-1 to Vancouver. Vancouver has Portland's number, it seems, no matter who the coach is. And you wonder if Phil Neville will be the first manager fired in 2025. That would be my betting favorite that he will be. So what was your favorite game of week 1 in MLS? What was your favorite goal? Let me know in the comment section down below. It's good to be doing weekly recaps once again. MLS season is finally back. And until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.